afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to talk about some common mistakes to avoid at the beginning of your novel. Keep in mind that this is your moment to bring in your audience. So you want some techniques that are really going to appeal to your group and really suck them in and get them interested and invested in your work. One common mistake is not to begin with a character that you plan to kill off soon in the novel. The reason this is an important thing to keep in mind is that you want an emotional investment from your audience. Starting a book and killing off a character right from the start creates a sense of distrust. They don't know when you're going to do this again. That does not mean that you have no freedom to kill off your characters. You can do so later in the novel, but keep in mind that it is very important that you start with emotional investment and a very well-developed character in order to create empathy. So please keep this in mind. It's never a good idea to start off by killing someone. The next thing you want to start avoiding is do not begin your story with a backstory. Now, we're all very enthusiastic to explain our ideas with our audience, but the best thing to do is begin right in the middle of your story or right where there's some action. You can always go back and explain later, but for extra points, you can also stop and consider how you can create the backstory in a way and in context with the story itself so that you're not always backpedaling. Don't begin your story with a description. And I think that we all have a lot of examples of that from classic literature. It was certainly a style of writing at one point, but it's not always the most poignant. I think that we all have memories of having to really hang in there and get to the plot of a story because it starts out with a whole lot of very tiring detail. And I love detail, but it does not begin right at the beginning of your story. Don't begin with a summary, and this is also very easy to do. You want to begin with the story. Now, this is where a lot of editing can come in handy because it's possible that you just had to get it all out before you could begin in your own head. That's fine, but when you go back, consider how to begin the story, not with a backstory and not with a summary of what's going to happen in the story. You're showing your audience, you're not telling them. Don't hold back on your readers at the beginning. This is when you want that really killer sentence, that amazing one-liner that's going to really suck them in. And remember that as an author, you have to work very hard at the beginning to establish trust with your readers, trust that you're giving them your best story. So don't hold back on the action and the excitement just because you're at the start. Pile it in. So today we're going to talk about writing and different techniques of authors. And instead of doing writing yourself, I just want you to pick up some books. Classics are great, but also some modern books, and just look at that first sentence. Do you like it? Does it influence you? Thank you so much, everybody, and have a wonderful afternoon.